Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ange if you haven't met me before, and today we're gonna do a balcony plant tour. So I'm gonna take you guys onto my balcony and show you every single plant I have out there. Some of them are thriving and some of them are not, but that is just plant life for you. It is the honest truth. I'm going to apologize in advance if there is any kind of car noises because it does get a little bit busy on the road that I live on. So hopefully you guys can just ignore any car sounds if there is any. So if you want to see what plants I have out in my balcony, then definitely keep on watching. Okay, so we are outside in my balcony and my whole balcony is southwest facing. So I do get some really bright afternoon sun, but in the morning it's mostly just bright indirect light. So I'm going to start off with this shelf behind me. Alright, so this is my shelving unit that I have on the side of my balcony. Over here is some of Steven's like hockey and cricket shoes that I kind of want to keep outside because they get kind of stanky. But the rest of it is mostly my plant setup. So I'm going to start over here. Here we have a beautiful monkey tail cactus. I absolutely love this thing. I think it is so funny looking. People have told me not to touch it because you can get some of those little pointy things in your fingers, but never hurt me before, so I love that guy. Next to it we have my really sad looking chain of hearts. If you haven't seen my plants I struggle with video, this is a plant I struggle with. It doesn't really do much, but we do have some really like large hearts starting up at the top here, but I kind of just exiled it outside because it didn't make me happy. Next to it is another plant that I exiled outside because it was looking really dull inside, and since moving it outside I'm kind of in love with it. So these leaves here were the leaves that were kind of popping out inside the house with some medium light, and they were really dull looking, but now since moving it into some bright indirect light, the leaves have gotten so red and I absolutely love it. It is thriving outside, so I'm just going to leave it out there. Up in this top section, I have a variegated PEPEROMIA SCANDENS. I am standing on a chair right now so you can see it, so hopefully I don't fall over and hurt myself. But I absolutely love this guy. It was really big when I purchased it, but it is absolutely thriving. It spits out new leaves so often, and since in my care the leaves are getting a little bit larger because you can see how small these leaves are. I wasn't really sure what was going on. I had a look inside and it's not pot bound or anything, so maybe it wasn't getting enough light in the nursery that it was at before, but I absolutely love this. How cute is it? And another good tip is these hooks that I have here are not actually drilled into the bricks. So at your local hardware store you can get hooks that like clamp onto the gaps in between bricks, and then you can hang plants without having to drill into the brick, because I'm not allowed to do that as we are renting. This top shelf on my little metal shelving unit, I have a lot of my succulents and things. So back here is a jade succulent. My mom actually started this as cuttings for me and it has since completely taken off. I have repotted it last week to give it a little bit of extra room because that is some thick juicy stems in there. But I like to water this guy when the leaves start to feel really soft and the soil is completely dry, but that is a super easy care plant. Here we have a peperomia that is, not my favorite. It's struggling. This is a Peperomia Rosso, which is really cute, and it has the reds on the undersides of the leaves, but this is just one that doesn't thrive in my collection. So again, it got exiled outside and it is doing much better, but again, not really one of my favorites. Here is a Ripsalis or Pseudo-Ripsalis, I believe. I can't remember the exact name of it, so if I can figure it out, I will write it down below. But this guy is, oh my gosh, there's too many flowers in the way. This guy is so cute. It reminds me of like lobster claws, which I don't know, really love that. And I love how it gets really nice and red when it's a little bit, you know, getting a little bit too much sun. This section here, I just cut off one of the leaves, I guess, and stuck it straight into soil, and I think it is starting to root up now because I want it to be more than just one plant in the pot. And in the corner here is my biggest spider plant I have. This guy is absolutely amazing. It puts out babies like crazy, and I have spider plant for days. I just give them to people randomly. I'm like, please take them, because I cannot deal with that many spider plants. But this one gets bright indirect light. It is quite visual when it's thirsty, like the leaves will droop down and get a little bit paler, so that is when I water it. It is a very, very easy care plant, and you can see all the little babies just here, and they're more just kind of hiding back here because I didn't want it to block the light from the other plants. So yep, we just shoved them back there. Oh, one just fell off, but you know, I'll deal with that later. In this section here, I have a Peperomia polybotryia, or raindrop peperomia. These are 3 separate plants that I started all from a 1-leaf propagation. So I literally just take a leaf, pop it into soil, and it will create a whole new plant for you. So, you know, that is an easy way to get tons and tons of new plants. These 2 back here are just some basic aloe vera. I'm not a huge fan of these, so they kind of just sit in the back, do their thing, you know, whatever. Here is a baby from one of the spider plants I have just potted up. I'll probably give this to someone at some point if they would like a plant from me. Yeah, I don't know. I have too many of these, so that will be gone at some point. I just moved these spider plant babies out of the way so you can see my heartleaf philodendron. This was inside, but it isn't one of my favorites, so I moved it outside to make room for more of my favorite plants. And I have been propagating it a lot. I just chopped off some of the longer stems, and then I popped them straight into soil. I had them in water for like a day or 2, but I got too impatient and I didn't really care if they survived or not. But a lot of them did, so they are putting out a lot of new stems here. It is quite long, it trails down, but yeah, that guy just kind of lives there. The second to last shelf on this unit has some plants that don't need as much sun. So this one here is a TRADESCANTIA, which I absolutely love because it is such a fast grower. And I think this is the ZEBRINA variety. It has the beautiful purple leaves and the purple backing. And this one is so easy. It grows like a weed because it is, so please do not plant this into the ground. Always keep it in a pot because it will take over everywhere. And honestly, you could just chop off one of these stems, stick that into the soil, and it will start growing. So easy and so rewarding. It probably needs a haircut at some point because it's getting a little bit out of control. Next to that is a cousin of the TRADESCANTIA. This is a CALLISIA REPENS, or pink panther. And this guy is really cute. I think he looks like a little afro, which I love. Some of the bottom leaves have kind of died off and things like that, but you know, I'm not too fussed. I would recommend, if you want it to look nice and bushy and not leggy like this, to chop it back so it can kind of sprout out new growth, but I'm not too fussed. I think it's really cute, just kind of chilling in this section. I like to turn it every few days or so that it can kind of get an even amount of sun, but I love the pink leaves. I think they're so cute. Back here is a sad story. This is my Stingray alocasia that I killed. There is one bulb in there that didn't look like it was rotted, so I just kept it in the soil. I water this every week or 2 just when it gets completely dry, and hopefully it'll pop back out again. If not, I'm not too fast. Maybe one day I will purchase another one. The front here have my watermelon peperomia propagations. These were 2 different leaves that I propagated, and they are successful. These are the 2 new baby leaves, and we have one on the way here. I love propagating peperomia and then giving them off to friends, especially because in Australia the watermelon peperomia is quite expensive but so easy to propagate, so I prefer to just kind of, you know, do that and maybe give them off. In the corner here I have my little bonsai. This is a Buddha's belly fig, which is so cute. My mum bought this for me because I think it looks really naughty. I'm very immature like that. This did live in my kitchen a while back, but I moved it out here, and it's totally fine. I constantly am chopping the foliage off because I prefer it to look more just like bushy, and you're kind of more just looking at the little I like to call them legs. They look like legs. So yeah, that is my Buddha's belly ficus. The bottom shelf here has another spider plant, and this one again came from my mother spider plant up the top. This is one that I'll probably just be keeping because it's getting pretty large. I think there are about 3 different spider plant babies in the pot, and I recently upgraded it to this terracotta one because it was busting out of its plastic. But I love this, it looks so pretty. And again, another sad alocasia story next to it. This was an alocasia SARIAN that I killed. Again, this one had spider mites, and so did the stingray alocasia. So yeah, we're just kind of hoping that comes back. If not, you know, such is life. Next to that, I have my Philodendron BIPENNIFOLIUM outside. This one I got as a big cutting for $5 from this person. I'm so sorry if you can hear Cash barking. He wants my attention, but you know, I'm busy, Cash. I got things to do. So I got this one for $5 from a lady that sells plants just that she grows from her house. And yeah, it is rooted up. It's in soil now. It hasn't put out any new leaves, but you know, it's just chilling. In this bin, I have all my soil, perlite, orchid bark, that sort of stuff. And I just bought that bag of vermiculite. So, you know, when I need it, I will add that into the soil. Here is my little propagation tray. So I just started this 2 days ago, I want to say. So I planted 5 rows of sunflower seeds. Oh, that one's popping back up. Oh my gosh, it's already germinating. What? That was 2 days. That is crazy. Look at that. Okay, insane. I'm probably gonna have to put another layer of soil on the top, so I'm gonna do that after this video. And the strawberries are on this side, so we're gonna see what grows from that. But you know, I'm guessing the sunflowers are already doing stuff. Having a Cash break because he really wanted attention. So here's a treatsy. Shake. Attaboy. Good boy. There you go, buddy. There you go. Is an eating shooter's boy. All right. Can I film now? Can I film now, Keshi? All right. Okay, so I got this little mini propagation box from Bunnings recently, and I'm testing my luck at just some moss propagations. Moss is not my favorite way to propagate things. I find that I overwater it and then the stems and plants become mushy, so I'm trying to keep it a little bit more dry. I've had some tips from some lovely people on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then definitely check me out because I post a lot of plenty updates. But inside the box we have my stem propagations and things. So these are 2 begonia leaf cuttings. I rooted them up in water and moved them into soil when their roots got long enough, and we're gonna see if that helps them put out some new leaves. They got a little bit crispy in the sun while they were in water, but you know, they're doing okay. I do have a little bit of water in here just to keep the humidity up. This cutting here is a HOYA Crimson Queen cutting that is rooting up. I have another one just here. Over here we have some of my Pink Princess cuttings that I got from my mom, and you can see that they are putting out some new growth points. So they've been in this box for about a week now. I have another one here that has a lot of pink on it, so I'm very excited to see this one. Look at that pink variegation on this stem. I'm hoping that that does something. And we have a growth point just there and one just there. So I'm gonna leave that in here and let it do its thing. Just cover it with a little bit more moss. There are a few more Pink Princesses down there, but they haven't done much as of yet. I do like to open the lid every few days or so just to get some fresh air in there, and just so the air doesn't get too stale and gross. So let's cover that back up. On the other side, we have more plants. So attached to the top of my doors that go back inside my house is my variegated ivy. This one has a lot of white, so it got a little bit burnt in the sun, but you know, not too fussy, whatever. This is a super fast grower, and people always say that they get spider mites on their ivy so often, but I have never had a problem with pests with this guy, so I guess I'm lucky like that. On my table here, I like to have my coffee here in the morning, so please don't judge my stained table. This is all coffee spills. I have my string of dolphins here. So very, very cute. We have a lot of new growth. I've recently propagated a lot of these cuttings and just stuck them in the soil to make it more bushy. Please stop barking. Please. Please. This tall plant I have in the corner is a African milk tree. I believe that's what it's called. And this is super cute. You don't want to get any of the sap on you because it is very toxic. So yeah, but this one I just like water when it's completely dry, and it is a very fast grower. Down here I have some jade succulent cuttings just propagating in some soil. I kind of just stick cuttings wherever I can and hope that they do something. I'm not too fussed if they don't. Hanging up in this section is what I purchased as a zigzag cactus, fishbone cactus, whatever that is. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't think that it is. I know it's some sort of epiphyllum, but if you know what variety this is, then definitely let me know. I think it is so cute. Again, it's one that I propagate just from cutting off a little section and sticking it into soil. Gosh, I love propagating succulents. They're so easy. And I pretty much have like a 90% success rate, so not too shabby. But yeah, this one, fast grower. Hasn't flowered for me yet, but I'm very excited for when it does. This next area of my table, I have some extra sunflower seeds. Like literally this packet had like 75 sunflowers. I don't need 75 sunflowers, so I have some extras. This is a random fruit tree that my mom gave me. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of hybrid. It had like plums and apricots or something, but honestly, I have no idea. And I don't really do much for this. Kind of just sits there. Here is my chenille plant. This one got a bit leggy because it was living on that that shelving unit behind me, and I thought that it needed a bit more light, so I moved it here a few days ago, and we'll see how it goes. In the low light, it only started producing these little tiny fuzzy things. If you watch ZEBRINA's channel, she calls this the hot Cheeto plant because honestly, it does look like a hot Cheeto, and once she said that, I cannot unsee that, but it is very cute, and I'm hoping that it bounces back a little bit with some extra light. Here we have my string of pearls. This was in my kitchen, and I moved it outside a few days ago just to get it to have a little bit of extra light, and a lot of the like pearls were falling off because it was getting knocked constantly when I was washing my dishes, so hopefully it likes it outside. This one's such a fast grower, and if you need to know when to water your string of pearls, just give them a firm squeeze, and if they feel soft, that's when you know you need to water them. If they still feel nice and hard, don't water them. On the corner of my table here, I have my ruby necklace, which some stems are gross, so don't look at over there, but we have this one here. It is such a fast grower. I did repot it recently, and I knocked off so many of the little leaves, so that's probably why it's looking a little bit sad, but you know, it is what it is. This whole front section here have random succulents in these window planters. These random little assortments Stephen bought me. I don't really know what they are, so they just kind of live here. And I made all these window planters just by sticking a bunch of succulents together. So we have a flapjack, feels quite soft now, so I know I need to water this. We have some echeverias, which I got as cuttings from my mom. We have some crassula, we have some jelly bean succulents, some more echeverias, a ripsalis, an agave, more crassulas. And I don't know what this is, but it's really funny looking. So yeah, that is my first little window planter I made. Next to it, I have another window planter I made. This is some rosemary, but I'm gonna be getting rid of it because I think it has some bugs, which is kind of gross. So we're gonna get rid of that, and I might redo a whole window planter with some herbs. We have an aloe that's gotten way too much sun, so I kind of wanted to do an experiment of seeing like how much sun is too much sun, and this is definitely too much sun, so I think I'll throw that away at some point. We have this succulent that I have absolutely no idea what it is. We have some of these ones, which I think is so pretty. Look at that white variegation. This is an African milk tree cutting that I took from the large plant back there, and it has rooted up. We have some more little succulents, a blue torch cactus, 2 more cacti. This is actually the first plant I ever got. My mum bought me this little cactus, I want to say like 4 years ago, and it's probably grown like that much. So not that much, but it is flowering. I think it's so cute when cacti flower. Like, how cute is that? We have more cacti, and then some more little succulents. Come in here. So this is the last little area that I have plants on my balcony. This plant over here is a avocado tree that I started from seed. So that there was the seed that I started about 1.5 years ago, and now we have this avocado tree. It got really sunburned, so there's sunburn here, some sunburn here, but honestly, I don't really care too much. That sounds really bad, but you know, I live in Australia. It gets really hot in the summertime. I can't really protect every plant. So yeah, hopefully one day this produces fruit, but apparently if you grow avocado from seed, they may never fruit. So that's underwhelming, but it takes about 10 years. So in 10 years, I'll know if I'll have fruit or not. This here is another aloe vera. Again, not my favorite. It kind of just chills here, does its thing. It's quite large. And now we're gonna end on some sad stories. So again, if you saw the plants I'm struggling with video, this is my Persian shield. Orcs. It's not happy. I mean, all of these new purple leaves are new leaves. So I mean, it's doing much better outside than it was doing inside, but they're tiny, teeny tiny leaves. So, you know, we're gonna just leave it and stop talking about that one. Over here I have some more propagations. These are peperomia propagations from leaves, just kind of experimenting. These kinds of things I don't really mind if they survive or not. They kind of just, you know, chill there. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed seeing what plants I had on my balcony. Hopefully it makes you feel better that I'm not a complete plant genius. There are plants outside that are not thriving. I would say the plants outside are the plants I don't really care as much about. Like, my pride and joy are inside, where I can like hover over them and be like a helicopter parent. So, you know, that's just plant life. That is the truth. I'm being completely honest with my failures outside. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, then hit subscribe, because I post 2 plant videos every single week, and I'll see you guys in my next one. All right, bye.